The next thing we want to cover is how to be comfortable in your stance. And what we're going to talk about is another knees item, but it's not going to be how far your knees come forward past your toes or any of that stuff. We're going to talk about the width of your knees. And we're also going to talk about your chest position and how that can affect not only being comfortable, but later on we'll get into how that affects your power too. But right now I want to focus on being comfortable in the stance. And again, we'll cover the width of the knees, and then we're going to cover the position of the chest with that. All right, Jacob's going to approach the football, and he's going to get lined up in his regular position. He's going to line up just like he would the snap, and everything is just textbook. That's how Jacob does it. I'm going to have him stand up, and what we're going to talk about here is if you got your knees in too tight. Some guys get their feet really wide and they knock their knees in. So Jacob's got his knees knocked in, and I'm going to have him get down in his stance right there and let you take a look at that. He's knock-kneed. All right, and what that's doing, it's closing down the window that you've got to work, okay? Jake, if you'll just kind of turn in place, and let's see that from the back. All right, just widen your feet out a little wider than normal. All right, and knock your knees in. And you can see from this angle really well too, how his knees are knocked in. He's closed down that area he's got to work. It's going to be harder, especially with headgear and shoulder pads on, to be able to get that ball through there as efficiently as he could with as much speed as he can produce if he's got his knees knocked in. So Jake, from that position, if you'll go ahead and stand up, get in your regular stance. Okay, and then just line up. And what you're going to see right here, he's got plenty of room to get through, even if I was going to throw pads on him. He's good. All right, stand up and just turn around and do that facing the camera, and we can see how your knees look. They're out to the sides there. Most of the time from this view, what you'll notice is the knees are just slightly wider than the delts. If you're looking at it head on like you're looking at it right now, you'll just see his kneecaps just on the outside of his shoulders. If you've got that, you're looking pretty good. Jake, knock them in from right there. All right, if you can't see the knees, you're probably in there a little bit too tight, okay? Now, another thing on this, if I were to ask Jacob to go too wide with his knees, what happens is you start getting on the sides of your feet. Now you don't have any base, okay? You don't have any balance because you're on the sides of your feet. You can see his shoes really kind of moving at an angle real sharply there to the outside. All right, so roll back to the correct stance. All right, your knee caps are slightly wider than your shoulders from this angle, and your feet are flat on the ground.